What has happened to the auction house prices? Well, you know what's happened? Everybody that is a big spender in the game already has their copies, and now you, as a free-to-play player, actually have a clear path on how to grind your way to a giant killer copy for not that much. And I'm talking about less than 10,000 Starry Gems. Now, if we're talking about like full in-price pack value, that's still like $400. That's still a lot of money for even a low spender in this game. But you can get Betty copies, you can get Doom Terminator Vulcan copies, you can get Vesta copies. There's so many different heroes that are up for so inexpensive. And I don't know if you're aware, because there are methods of just selling off all your C- and higher heroes instead of retiring them during events, and you can slowly but surely accumulate the wealth to purchase one of these heroes. Now, let's take a look, because a lot of decent copies are actually on the auction house right now. They might actually be better than my original ones I bought for a lot more. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let's jump right into it. So surprisingly enough, if you guys remember, a lot of our heroes we got for about 30,000 Starry Gems, between 20 and 30,000 Starry Gems, including at the time this really solid Doom Terminator Vulcan. I think we actually spent around 20,000 for this Lord of Fear Aspen, so that was a pretty good steal. Even like Star Swordsman Mockman, this copy was around like the 25 to 30,000 Starry Gem mark, and that is pretty unobtainable for a free-to-play player, because even if you're going into your Soul Awakening events and you are retiring heroes, is D plus and lower you should really be trying at this point moving forward. If you don't have a giant killer hero on your account, selling every C- and higher copy, because, well, they are in high demand. You're not going to get the full retire value, of course, but what you will get is value for people going for the Soul Gathering statue, because as you guys know, these have some of the best rates per Starry Gem value that you'll see, and that helps power up the heroes. Now, even me, I don't really chase this one because it's a very, very big chase, which is why our Lord of Fear Aspen will fall behind compared to other people. But what that does mean is there's a high demand. If you even just go on here and just look at buyout price, like, you should be able to sell a 100 retirement for contract Starry Gem value copy for 75. Now that is going to take a while. That's still a lot of hero copies that you'll need. That's actually what, 100 of them, right? Yeah, 100. About 100 C- copies will probably get you close to getting a giant killer nowadays, because what I'm about to show you, I'll just put like A- and A. I'm going to show you, first off, some of what are now considered the budget heroes to go for in the game. Surprisingly, they're still kind of up there in price. I'm really, well, oh, never mind. I'm doing it by buyout. You could actually bid on a lot of these copies, and they are very inexpensive, but in reality, they're not worth going for even on an earlier game account. I think holding out for a little longer and getting better copies is the key. We can take a look at Betty. Even Betty has some copies around the 10,000 mark. Surprise, this one actually might go up quite a bit though. You got to keep your eye and try to find the best deals out there. But all of a sudden, we're just having so many giant killer copies on the auction house. It's to the point where most people in the end game don't need A- heroes, or what they're doing is they're now buying S heroes and then they're reselling their A- copies. So it's why they are so inexpensive. We can take a look at some of the more traditional heroes, like Lord of Fear Aspen. Still very expensive. That's not one that I would honestly go for whatsoever. However, Vulcan is down there as well. You can see this is actually a better copy than my Vulcan as far as the raw stats go. Even this one is better. Honestly, most of these are better. And you can see a lot of them are up for bid. If you're looking to just buy something out guaranteed, there's that. But a lot of them are up for bid at a much lower price. So trying to snipe one of these could be a good idea. Even Mockman. Well, actually Mockman, wow. The other day when I looked, there were a ton of Mockman up for like around 10,000, which was pretty insane. I guess you just have to be playing the market and seeing what's up when. Even if we go for a copy, like, what was I thinking? Yeah, like I said, Betty, I think, is probably one of the best ones you could potentially snipe, because there's a lot of them up there for right around 10,000 Starry Gems. Even ones up here that don't necessarily have the best attack rate, but getting Giant Killer on the copy and a ton of HP stats is still really, really good. So that is one of the options. I know most people are still going the Lord of Fear Aspen route. However, that's why the prices have stayed so long. Even at that, though, there are so many copies up on the auction house of Aspen now. It's like you have to severely undercut if you even want to sell your copy. And again, this is just A and A- copies. Like that's it. I doubt if I put A+ on here, it's going to change much at all. The big surprise for me, though, was the Doom Terminator Vulcan. How many copies were up here at a very reasonable price? Because, again, he was more expensive than even Lord of Fear Aspen at a time. But I think part of it is coming down to the shift in where you're focusing on game modes. In Void Campaign, you basically needed Star Swordsman Mockman. Then Doom Terminator Vulcan came out and was like, well, you could use Doom Terminator Vulcan or Star Swordsman Mockman. Once Destiny Transition came out, it was like, well, you really can just get away with using your Lord of Fear Aspen. And most people just sit their Star Swordsman Mockman nowadays, unless they're going to up that hero up to Polystar and get those really strong Destiny transitions. Almost more important has become the Void Invasions, because of the new Scattered Spirit Vein Shards and the Aurora Gems. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be that you need a boss killer nowadays, because even in this one, killing the boss is the most important part about the Void Invasion. The little minions do next to nothing in comparison. Nuking down that target is the most important. And who does single target better than Lord of Fear Aspen in this game? The answer is absolutely nobody. And that is why his value has been holding. It's why anytime we do any Soul Awakenings, you always do this right here. You go find your Aspens. We probably don't have any. No, we have an Aspen here. You do this right here. We actually even have a stone, which might be worthwhile doing. But this is essentially what you do. And you know what? Since we're talking about Awakenings, let's see if our free one can actually be lucky. It absolutely cannot, so don't do that. But if you do hit that copy and you already have one, then it's a nice high roll and you can sell it off. Luckily, like I said, we got a very good deal, like literally 20,000 for this A copy, which was really good at the time. Most of them were going for 30 to 40,000. But you see, A- heroes are becoming much more cost effective, which is why in the later days here we've been actually getting more, and we actually decided to transfer some of our Starry Gems off this account onto our Betty account, just so that we can have some fun over there too. But it's just crazy the deals that are going on now. Now, the one thing I will mention, even S tiers of suboptimal heroes are dropping. You're seeing a ton of Vestas up here, because even when we're talking about Star Expedition, which a lot of people love playing, Lord of Fear Aspen really just wins out hands down now compared to compared to Fairy Queen Vesta, because Fairy Queen Vesta's Destiny transition is all about healing, and Lord of Fear Aspen's is all about damage dealing. So even grabbing an S tier sounds like a cool idea, but in reality, it just isn't really worthwhile. You can still see some other SS hero, geez. We don't even have any SSS up here, but these are now for the whales. The whales pretty much no longer go for these A-, and that's why they can be so inexpensive. Heck, even upgrading a B+ to an A- might be more cost effective eventually, with how inexpensive all these A- are becoming. But at the same time, it becomes not worthwhile, because yeah, you can just buy your copy for cheaper than buying 5 of these up. Like, you literally find a Lord of Fear Aspen at an A- at a better price than buying 5 of these up, even at 5,000 Starry Gems. It's just a crock. But yeah, the big information here is the really good heroes in the game right now are becoming very affordable if you can look for the right bid opportunity. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let me know if you snag one of these off the auction house, and I'll see you guys next time.